What's up, guys? Brennan back again today on another episode review of Hawkeye. Today is episode 4, titled Partners Am I Right? And this is a fun episode, some stuff happening, some cool reveals, and also some new mysteries have started to reveal themselves in the episode, in the show. So, yeah, a lot of cool stuff happening here. So let's get into it. So it's a shorter episode, about the same length as last week's episode. They're not as long as some of the other Disney Plus episodes have been from the other shows. I feel like because now we're near the end of the show now, we have next week will be the penultimate episode, so I feel like that episode and then also the following episode after that will probably be longer episodes, maximum, I would imagine, an hour at least, or close to something, like 50 minutes at least, something like that, because we're nearing the end already, so we gotta start getting longer story formats. I would hope so for nearing the end. But yeah, so there was a lot of good stuff despite the short length of the episode. Stuff happened. Yeah, the cliffhanger, of course, last episode I said how I didn't find it that much of a shocking cliffhanger where Jack holds the sword to Clint, because the episode starts where it was Jack and also Eleanor, Kate's mom, were all just they were there. They were like, oh wait a minute, why is Kate here with an Avenger and whatever, and then she have a normal talk, and Kate says she's helping Clint on an assignment of some sort. So it wasn't too much of a big big thing. So I didn't think that big cliffhanger thing last episode was anything too special. It wasn't really much here, which is all right, that was kind of it. I mean, we did get a cool scene where or a sweet scene where Eleanor asks Clint to make sure her daughter doesn't die and such, and I asked him if he can drop this, but he can't because this is too important. So, but he says he will make sure that her daughter does stay safe. So, I mean, that was all nice. That was all pretty cool. But yeah, there are a couple other interesting stuff that happened in the episode. Of course, I'm trying to think what's a good thing to talk about right now. There's a lot. We can see more of the camaraderie a bit with Clint and Kate. Just seeing them at the apartment, for time for that night. Kate decides, let's have some holiday fun for the time being. Take a little break. Let Clint take a rest and have some holiday fun since he's missing out on his family right now. So which was pretty nice. It was a pretty cool scene. There's a lot of stuff in the episode. So I like in that whole sequence though. It's how Clint's just grabbing I think they call it slushy stuff from the freezer and just just full on taping it to his body just as ice pack. I think it's very fun. It's just that's super very grounded stuff I expect from the show. From what I assume that's the kind of stuff he does in the comic too. So I think it's all cool. But there's a lot of other stuff in the show that in this episode in particular that they talk about with Hawkeye from the comics and stuff he does. Particularly one thing mentions how he can flick a coin or bottle cap. If it was a coin, it was. You can just flick it and it bounces across the room. It says he can knock someone out with it. I mean, it doesn't do that. I assume that'll come back to play later on in the next 2 episodes where he does that to someone. But in this show, he can flick it and turn a TV off perfectly like that. And he teaches Kate how to do it. But I think was I know the thing he can do in the comics, but I remember that being a thing specifically from the Ultimate universe of comics, where the Ultimate Hawkeye, where he used a fingernail, he could flick a fingernail and he killed someone with it. I mean, I can't quite recall if he killed someone by doing that, or it just knocked them out also, but I remember the Ultimate Hawkeye could flick a fingernail and just hurt someone with it somehow. So I remember that. But I also remember how the part where Clint talks about how Kate, she finally figures out that he was Ronin and such, and that's how he dealt with the blip and everything. But he also mentions how that was just what I was born to be, a weapon. How and she says, no, you're a hero. Nope, I was basically trained as a weapon. The right people just point me in the right direction and such, and I practically hurt people. It says that's what I've always done. That's what I've always been good at. Which I think that's kind of been that's kind of also referenced in the comic as well. Because if you're not familiar, in the comics, Hawkeye was originally a bad guy in the comics. He started out as a circus performer, but then he became a villain, and then he joined the Avengers afterwards. In the comics, also the swordsman Jack Duquesne in this show, he trained Hawkeye, but obviously, like I said, not in this show, obviously. But yeah, he was a villain in the comics originally, so I wonder if that's kind of what he's implying. I mean, it could be possible that him saying that the right people pointing me in the right direction could just be S.H.I.E.L.D. pointing in the right direction, but you never know. He could have been. We don't really know. We don't know too much about what Clint was like beforehand, before S.H.I.E.L.D., before the Hawkeye moniker and such. For all I know, I think it's been established he did have a circus past in Age of Ultron. I think in his barn you see circus stuff there, but I can't recall. I don't think we've ever addressed what his life was like before the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D., so he could have been maybe like on the wrong side of the law a little bit. I have no idea. I'm not sure if they're going to elaborate on that more. Maybe it's just me overthinking that, but that's what my mind went to when he said he was kind of he's just good at hurting people, which like I'm just thinking back to how he was a villain originally in the comics. So that's what I thought. But, a bunch of other cool stuff. We see the return of some of the LARPing people and how they need their help to get the trick arrows back, more of them, which they do. But in return, they need Kate to get them some materials for the new costumes, which she agrees to. But she also asks them, can you make 2 other additional costumes, which they agree to, which will be 2 new costumes for her and Clint. Which, of course, will be the costumes we see in all the marketing and posters and such. So, yeah, that'll be cool seeing them get those costumes. So I don't know if they'll get them by the next episode or the final episode. I mean, at most, if they get them next episode, it'll be like the end of the episode. At most, I would imagine they would get those costumes. But that'd be cool finally seeing Clint get a proper costume for once. So that'd be awesome. But yeah, other stuff in the episode. Just a lot of it wasn't too heavy on the action this episode compared to the last one, which I'm good with. But there was some stuff near the end with some action and such. Of course, with I guess we'll talk about the ending part where we see the big return of Yelena Belova finally shows up in the show, so that was pretty cool. Well, yeah, it was a pretty fun scene. She wasn't there for too long. She was just once they unmasked her, she was there for a couple seconds, then she kind of just left. So I'm wondering what else is going to happen with that. I mean, we know she's after the kill Hawkeye, obviously. So I'm wondering to see what's going to happen with next week's episode. I wonder how much we're going to see of her going. I mean, we have 2 episodes left, so I mean, I assume there might be more of her still. I'm not sure how much more. I'm curious to see, will she help them at all in any capacity? So, but, it was cool seeing her for the brief seconds we did. I mean, most of the time she's wearing a mask, which also her mask, but the goggle visor she had was actually a thing that Yelena has in the comics. So that's cool. But, what I was shocked by is that Clint was aware she was a Black Widow assassin. I didn't think he would know who that was, because I didn't think... I mean, I know he was aware of the Black Widow program because he helped, Natasha shut down the Red Room, or thought they shut down the Red Room and such. But I didn't think he would know. I would have thought that Clint thought it was already shut down a long time ago. And I mean, I guess he figured out it was a Black Widow because she has the wrist bracelet thing that shoots the red dots, things, a red disc that Natasha has that she had in Civil War. So I guess that's how he figured out that pretty easily. But I thought he would have thought that maybe. It was already done a while ago. I mean, I have no idea if Natasha would have told him about what happened during the Black Widow movie when she went to break him out of the raft in Civil War of Cap, or maybe at some point during their flight to Vormir and Endgame. I have no clue if she told him at all about the whole events of Black Widow. So, I mean, I just don't think that Clint knows that Yelena is her sister. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think that'll be a big reveal thing that will help lead to the figuring out the misunderstanding that Val sent Yelena on. So, I'm curious to see what comes of that. So that should be very interesting in the next following few episodes. So, I mean, we get a cool sequence where just seeing Yelena trying to battle Clint, but then Kate comes in to battle Yelena, save Clint, but then also Maya comes in and battles Kate and battles Clint, and then Yelena's kind of battling and Maya. Just a whole big just fight was kind of going on a little bit. It was kind of crazy and such. But others have also, because in that whole sequence they were going to Maya's apartment, which they didn't know it was Maya's apartment, to find the Rolex watch. So it's not the watch that I was thinking it was back in the first episode, where I thought maybe it's Tony Stark's watch that had the arc reactor blaster thing. No, it's something else, which we don't really know what it is, but I have a feeling that it's tied to Laura Barton, somehow his wife, because she specifically asked Clint about that Rolex watch in Russian. I think it's what she was speaking that one scene. I can't recall when. I'll put in the I'll edit in what it was later on. But yeah, she was speaking to him in their language, so the kids wouldn't know what they were talking about. So, I mean, I feel it has to be something tied to Laura, because when Kate asks Clint what the watch is, he's like, it belongs to a friend of mine who got out of the game a while ago, a long time ago, but now the watch is still tied to them, so if it gets in the wrong hands, their identity could be exposed, and then bye-bye friends. So I feel like it has to be Laura. My working theory is that, Laura, they could reveal that Laura could have been maybe Mockingbird. And if you don't know who Mockingbird is, she's a character from the comics as well, who Hawkeye actually dated and later married at one point in the comics as well. Now, Laura is not like Mockingbird in the comics. A character named Bobby Morse is Mockingbird, who, if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, she was on that show for seasons 2 and 3, and she left during season 3, meant to go out a spin-off show with another character on that show, but the ABC didn't pick it up. So, I mean, we know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not canon to the MCU. Of course, the official Marvel Studios book said that it's not canon, so yeah, so they easily could do a whole different thing and make it Mockingbird, which I'd be into that if they reveal that Laura, like if they just say that no, Laura Barton is our version of Mockingbird. I'd be into that if they make that reveal. That'd be kind of pretty cool because we know nothing about the past Clint has with Laura. Like we don't know how they met or like what happened. Like all we know is that Fury helped Clint set up like their farmhouse to be off the radar and such back when we first met in Age of Ultron. So we know nothing else besides that of how they know each other, how they met. Like it'd be interesting if we find out she used to be a member of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is another vigilante or whatever, and that's how they met. That'd be a pretty cool, interesting thing. That would make sense why she's kind of very relaxed and calm with a lot of the superhero stuff he does still. Like in this whole series in particular, why she's very, you know, not as like why Clint let her know about the whole Ronin stuff, because maybe she's aware, she knows very well a lot of this kind of superhero stuff. So you know, that'd be a cool reveal if they do that. I mean, again, I'm just guessing that's what it is, so who knows. But there's that. You know, much more cool stuff happens in the episode. We see Clint, he confronts the one tracksuit guy who I looked up his name just today. His name is Kazi. You know, and talks to him how he should try and convince Echo or Maya to stop this pursuit of Ronin because it's going to get herself killed, and he doesn't want to see anyone else, you know, die. He doesn't reveal to him that he's Ronin, of course, but like, he says her pursuit of this is dangerous. She'll get herself hurt, and it's also not good for your organization, and definitely not good for your boss and whatnot. He doesn't like this attention and heat on him, which, you know, they're definitely building it's someone big. I'm still sticking true to being Kingpin. I mean, it has to be. Like, it wouldn't be if it was just some random dude. It wouldn't keep saying, like, everyone keeps referring to him as like the big guy and your boss. Like, no, they never flat out say his name. So like, I definitely feel like it has to be Kingpin. Like, it has to be. And so I feel like at this point, like, if he's, like I said, you have 2 episodes left. They keep saying that, but they'll have to reveal their boss like in those next 2 episodes. So I'll be curious to see what happens with that reveal when they do reveal it. So yeah, but other interesting things alongside of other villains. So they're trying. We also found that Jack, he runs a shell company called Sloan, which I think was mentioned maybe in a prior episode. I can't recall. But the shell company launders money for the Tracksuit Mafia, and Jack is the CEO. So Jack is involved with the tracksuits in some capacity. So, which makes it surprising then that they kind of ambushed at auction, and like knowing if he was probably there, and it could have, like, I think, didn't they try killing him in that, or attempted hurting him? So maybe they don't know he's the CEO of Sloan, or maybe they do. Maybe they weren't trying to kill him. I don't recall. I have to go back and look at the first episode again and see the clips. Like, were they trying to hurt him or his dad? I can't recall. But, and if so, they're also trying to make an attempt to show that he's not too bad of a guy. I mean, if he's laundering money for the tracksuit, he's definitely a bad dude, but they're trying to make an attempt to make him seem like not too bad of a dude. Like, Kate's kind of warming up to him. I mean, she's still, like, not fully on his side because she's still suspicious and finding out, of course, that, you know, he's laundering money for them. But, you know, there's that scene in their house where he, like, dances with Eleanor and, like, shows how he makes her happy, and that makes Kate kind of surprised. And they have a funny little interaction where he misquotes something wrong, where he says, "As the heart, it's the heart." Damn, I just rewatched the clip. Well, how can I not recall it? It was like, "Makes the heart grow old," whatever the hell it was he said. And like, they're just laughing at him how that's not the saying and such. So, I mean, a lot of people I'm seeing speculating that maybe Jack's a red herring. He's not meant to be the villain. I'm seeing a lot of people point to how Eleanor could be a bad guy, which there's definitely something going on with Eleanor. Like, after Clint leaves the apartment, like, she calls up someone and says, "I need you to call me back. It's urgent," and such. So, I don't know. It definitely, like, there's something going on with Eleanor. Definitely, we're gonna find out. Jack, maybe he killed his dad. His dad. Yeah. I don't know. So, it's very interesting. So, either way, we're going to find out there's something going on with Jack and, like, Eleanor. We know something's going on with Jack a little bit because of the money laundering, but somebody's gonna go down with Eleanor a bit too. So either way, both of them are kind of bad guys. So like, in a way, something will happen. Clint also gets the Ronin sword back. He managed to quickly just swipe it away from the apartment, so that's pretty cool. Much better. What's another film I was about to think of to say? I don't know now. Damn it. Okay, there's also Clint was also drinking out of a mug that said Thanos was right and such, which I didn't catch that at first, but he was. Which, like, I think about it now, I'm like, why would Clint be okay with drinking from a mug that says Thanos was right, considering he lost his whole family due to Thanos? I mean, it's weird how, like, that's just, like, we saw in the first episode the graffiti of Thanos was right, but now it's like a mug also, so, like, I've seen some people say that maybe it's like a meme thing, like, which that's, like, that's very, like, world, I guess, to make a horrible event that was in that world a meme. I don't really know what the whole thing is, but, like, making merchandise off Thanos was right. I mean, it's... You think they wouldn't? Because he wiped out half the population for 5 years? I mean, like... I don't know. It's very weird, very odd. But yeah, of course, the episode ends with Clint. He gets mad at Kate and tells her how someone hired a Black Widow assassin, so it got very real, and tells her now to go home, leave, we're not partners, and he gets mad at her. Not mad at her, but he's demanding her that she leaves, and she does, because of course, he made a promise to her mom that she won't get hurt and such. And like, you could see it almost like, I mean, it's obvious that they will get back together and team up by the end of the show, it's obvious. But like, still, I think, you understand where Clint's coming from, like, he made a promise to her mom so that she wouldn't get hurt. Like, this whole thing started she accidentally got caught in the wrong situation, so this whole thing, and he's trying to protect her. Like, that's his whole reason for being here is to, like, help get her out of this heat, so he's trying to protect her. And, like I said, he has a family, too, also, which is what Eleanor brings up to him, that if you have kids, so you must understand. So, like, you understand where Clint's coming from, he's trying to keep her safe, so, yeah. But, you know, she's proven she can handle herself pretty well, so she'll team up with him by, like, next episode again, so, but yeah, that should be all cool. I think I've covered practically everything. There's a lot of funny stuff also in the episode. I guess one last thing I'll say, like when he kind of just like ambushes Kazi in his car, he like already took out all his weapons. He's like, he tries grabbing for a weapon to attack Clint with, but he's like, no, I got all your stuff. And then once he gets out of the car, he's like, can I have my gun back? He's like, where do you think? And he chucks it, which is like really funny. Yeah, overall it was a good episode. I think I preferred last episode a little bit more, I would say, probably. But it's still a really solid episode. I think the show is really good. So, again, it's really good. I really enjoy it. So, I'm excited to see where we go with next week's episode, with being the penultimate episode. I'm sad that it's almost over already. Like, it's because they released those first 2 episodes on the same day, like, the length of how long the show is running has been, like, cut down a bit. So, like, we're already on the penultimate episode next week, and the final episode, so, yeah. I mean, I'm hopeful they get a second season, maybe, because, I mean, most of the Marvel Disney Plus shows where we're not really sure if they get second seasons. I mean, Loki and What If, they're getting second seasons. WandaVision was a limited series only. Falcon Winter Soldier, probably not, considering that Sam Wilson's getting his own, like, 4th Captain America movie now, which Bucky will probably be in that too. But Hawkeye, I could see this being its own series going forward, like, you know, doing more adventures with Clint and Kate. Because, I mean, it's great having a show that's just, like just down in New York, like, just very simple like that. Like, I enjoyed it a lot, so I hope we get a second season, so, yeah. Overall, the episode was really good. I'd give it a 8 out of 10, mainly. I guess, like, my only problems were, like, just how, it ties back into the cliffhanger thing from last episode. Didn't really lead to anything that shocking or whatever, so, and some other stuff also in the episode, I guess, too, was like, whatever on. So, yeah. But, I mean, overall, I guess, like I said, it was a good episode. I cannot wait to see next week's episode, see where it goes here with Yelena, and maybe the reveal of Kingpin, and what this Rolex watch means with maybe Laura. So, very excited to see what happens next. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Let me know down in the comment section down below, what did you think of episode 4 of Hawkeye? And so, yeah, stay tuned for next week's review, episode 5. So, yeah, I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye. Also, final thing before we actually end it, I like my Christmas sweater. Very Marvel-inspired theme. Perfect for this Marvel Christmas show. Very fitting indeed. So, I just wanted to mention it. Anyways, alright, now we're actually ending. Alright, see you guys later for next week's episode. So, yeah, see y'all later. Goodbye. Hey, if you liked that video, guess what? YouTube put out a video just for you on the left. Or, if you want to take my advice, watch the most recent video on the right. Thanks for watching.